Dear students, welcome to the online classes program of Higher Education Department, Punjab. It is Department of English Language and Literature of Govt Postgraduate College, Attock. Here, I am Sharif Zahid, Assistant Professor of English. Well, gentlemen, we have completed the introduction of our second descriptive essay, that is Whistling of Birds by T.H. Lawrence. This essay is the symbol of love for nature. Prior to that, we have completed an incident that was an accelerating emotional incident, which is The Eclipse by Virginia Woolf. And today we are going to start a textual reading from our book. So let us switch over to Whistling of Birds. The writer first of all expresses in first paragraph about the wintry season. The wintry season is at its end, but by the half of the lesson we shall come across its actual ending. First of all, he gives us the state or emotion or the feelings of the birds during winter season. He says the frost held for many weeks. It means for the last so many weeks we faced falling of frost until the birds were dying rapidly, and as a result of that falling heavy frost, so many birds could not face that frost or that winter, so resultantly they lost their lives. Everywhere in the fields and under the hedges lay the ragged remains of lapwings. Lay means you may come across everywhere, you can see, you can witness, you will watch. Wherever will you move? Everywhere in the fields, whether in the fields or under the hedges, because the birds usually make their nests under the hedges and they hide themselves. So wherever were they sitting or they sleeping, definitely when they faced death, their remaining parts were lying over there in the form of wings, and these are the various small birds who hide themselves behind the bushes. They are lapwings, starlings, thrushes, redwings, innumerable rag bloody cloaks of birds. So many birds were there of multicolor and multi dresses. They were uncountable, that is why the writer says innumerable were they, when the flesh was eaten by invisible beasts of prey. So when the birds they come to an in the forest, definitely there are so many birds of beasts moving here and there. So the sooner they smell, so they reach over there and eat away. Then quite suddenly one morning the change came. So now it is the scene of the next morning, you may say next week. So there was a sudden change. The wind went to the south, so the direction of the wind changed and came off the sea warm and soothing. The wind from the sea, the blowing of the wind from the sea was giving an expression and feeling of the warmth, and it looked very soothing. In the afternoon, there were little gleams of sunshine. When the afternoon season came, so there were rays of sunshine, and the doves began without interval, mean continuously they started. In a happy mood, the doves started slowly and awkwardly to coo. Cooing of the bird is the expression of their happiness and joy. The doves were cooing, though with a labored sound, means they make an effort. Through maximum effort, they were able to chirp as if they were still winter stunned, because the effects of the winter season have yet not gone. They are still there. Their feelings are under the stress of wintry season. Nevertheless, all afternoon they continued their noise. It means they did not come to silence. They continued their expression of happiness in the mild air before the frost had thawed off the road. And then they saw that the frost started melting away, so it was the sign that the season has changed. As it started in the next morning and it remained up to the evening, at evening the wind blew gently. Once again, the fresh air started blowing, still gathering a bruising quality of frost from the heart. Of course, when the evening came, once again it was an expression of winter, frost, cold, and that was not easy to bear. It was a hard earth. Then the yellow, gleamy sunset. And now, after the passage of the whole day, it came to the end. Wild birds began to whistle faintly in the blackthorn thickets. These are the bushes which give an expression, and their thorns are blacky. So they started in a weaker sound, faintly. What of the steam button means whenever they wished to express their joy, they started crying or chirping or making sound. Usually the birds coo, and it was their cooing sound. Switching over to the third paragraph, he has given an example of a bird that it was startling and almost frightening after the heavy silence of frost. Of course, prior to that, it was a very difficult weather, which is not easy to bear. And how could they sing at once? Of course, it was not easy for all of the birds to start suddenly and collectively. Definitely, they were waiting for one or the other when the ground was thickly strewn. Everywhere there were scattered. What was there scattered? Scattered were with the torn carcasses of the birds. There were so many bones, dead bodies of the various types and various species of the birds, and they were visible. They were scattered everywhere. Yet out of the evening came the uncertain silvery sounds. But even then, unexpected sounds were now coming that made one's soul start alert, and it was necessary to pay attention towards those sounds almost with fear. Of course, not intentionally, but unintentionally. How could the little silver bugles sound the really so swiftly? It means all these sounds. How do you respond to all these sounds in the soft air when the earth was yet bound? It means the environment was not friendly, was not favoring. In that environment, everybody was depressed. Yet the birds continued their whistling. But they did not come under that depression, under that stress. Rather, dimly and brokenly, they were chirping. Of course, it was not continuous, but throwing the threads of silver means producing silver sounds and germinating noise into the air. And of course, they were contributing their chirping of the various songs. And now that dead silent environment was filled with the silvery songs of the birds. And how do that scene represent? It was almost too pain to realize so swiftly the new world. Of course, it wasn't an easy moment to make happiness or to sing songs. It was rather a difficult decision, but the decision has to be made, and these are the French words which say la monde, asmode, voile, means so we welcome to this world, but the birds omitted even first part of the announcement, means that is difficult. That is not an easy. Their cry was only a faint behind feck and wife, means may live long, and this and that expression of happiness was there. So, in the this is something which the writer wished to establish before us, that this was not an easy one. This change was not an easy one, because prior to this change there was a very hard season, and now we will switch over to the next world in the next lecture. Thanks for patient listening and happy watching. Allah Hafiz.